welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in. You know what time it is. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on that West Coast. Want to welcome everybody tonight to Hoka Hey Talk. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, stop it. Don't even worry, bald head nasty. Doc Remy is going to be in the building. There you go already. How y'all doing tonight, folks? Come on in. Welcome, 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 man. I just want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on Hoka Hey Talk, where we got one with you, man. Not every rider can sit there and say they're a legend, but some people can sit there and say they've done some legendary rides. And without a doubt, our guest for tonight has done just that. He's ridden the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge 3 times. 3 times. He's felt defeat. He's felt not being able to conquer Mount Everest. He knows that sting, that pain, but his resilience made him register for it to come back and try it again. And he's definitely the spirit, living the spirit of the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge. Come on in, folks. We got a good one for you. Guess who we got in the building? Who do we have in the building, folks?
Yes. The doctor in the building, everybody.
We can get this show started tonight, man. Come on in, folks. Hey, listen, man. Listen, we are out and about on the road. Doc, she is out right now, heading up to St. Louis. Welcome, Doc. Welcome.
Yes, I am at St. Charles Harley-Davidson. I'm in the back executive suite. You know they.
Come on, man. Look. And shout out to that dealership. Shout out to that dealership for letting you do that, for letting you set up. That's really nice of them. That's really nice of them. And maybe we can try to get something in the mail from the podcast, mail to them, to thank them for letting you do that. But it also says a lot about you too as well, Doc. So man, I'm glad to have you on the team, man. I'm glad to have you on the team. So listen, Doc, we got one lined up for him tonight for Hoka Hey Talk. I kind of brought him in, but I haven't given him all of his information yet. So as I'm trying to get things queued up, and folks, y'all just gonna have to bear with us because, like every night, every time we fire it up, there's gonna always be some gremlins in the building.
Always.
And we got them tonight. Who we got in here, Doc?
Man, I saw bald head. Oh, there go bald head nasty. he said he was about to walk out, OG.
You better not. You better not walk out.
Then Mark is in the building. Hey, what's up,
Oh
y'all?
man, what's going on, Eric? We got Eric in the building. Good evening, Willis. Oh man, sense of freedom. What's up, Big Mike? Oh man, what's up? Oh, there they go. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, man. We are glad to have you with us. But listen, Doc, without further ado, man, we got to go ahead and bring him in because we got a lot of good information to share, a lot of inspirational moments we want to share about him being on the road, him riding a Hoka Hey, and just finding out who is the legendary Don Hyde Chaffer is rider number 1002 of the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge. So without further ado, hey, Nurse Tiffany, how you doing? So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring him in. How are you doing there, Don?
Hey there. How are y'all?
Hey,
We're great, man. We're going to go ahead and give you a round of applause, man. Indeed. Oh. Yes, indeed, man. We're going to give you this round of applause. Thank you. So thank you for joining us on the show tonight. You know how it is, ladies and gentlemen. We try to find those unsung riders out there, man, those inspirational stories to bring them here and share them with you. So look, we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. But listen, before I even get started, I want to give a personal shout out to D Woods of the V Twin Life podcast. D Woods, if you're seeing it, man, I'm giving you a shout out because you did an interview with Don, and I went back and I looked at it, man, and it really inspired me to want to get him on, and you guys covered a lot of good information. So once again, folks, go over on YouTube, look in V Twin Life D Woods, man, and subscribe to his channel. Much love to D Woods. And I also been on his milepost. I was a milepost guest on his channel. So listen, if you would, Don, you want me to call you Don or Hyde?
Oh, you can call me either. Don's fine.
Uh,
All
Most
right.
people in this neck of the woods know me as Hyde, but either is fine.
That'll work, Don. That'll work. So listen, sir, if you would please go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience tonight. That would be great start.
I'm Don Chaffer. I'm a Hoka Hey Rider 1002, and my passion is riding that old Panhead. And me and that old bike have been a lot of places together, including Hoka Hey a few times, with some successes and failures in that line of endeavor. But we made it through this last time. I live in Texas, and we got two doctors in the room here. I'm in my day-to-day life. I'm a doctor. I'm a practicing internal medicine nephrology physician, and that's what I do for a living.
Oh man, I did not know that. Well, Doc, I got two doctors out here, man. I got
That's
one that
right,
can patch
doctor,
me up, man. Doctor can
doctor,
patch me
doctor,
up,
doctor.
and then I got one who can educate, man. That's what I'm talking about, folks. This is
Yeah.
great, man. I love this. I'm gonna give both of y'all this right here.
There's it.
There you go. There you
Every
go.
line of work in the doctor community. That's no doubt.
yes.
So doctor, go ahead and introduce yourself because I'm familiar with him because we were rookies together in 2020.
Okay. Yeah, well, listen, I want to know all about the Hoka Hey. I want to ride the Hoka Hey. I got inspirations to do it. I used to be scared of it, but I'm not scared anymore. And so, can you give me some wisdoms? If tell me, what do I have to expect going out there for the Hoka Hey?
I think Hoka Hey is I think there's some early things you can do to help you in terms of undertaking the task. I think the website is really excellent. It's sort of getting your juices flowing and getting the ball rolling to being a Hoka Hey rider. But I think one thing that's really important in the starting process and leading up to your first day departing on a Hoka Hey is riding your ride. Your a ride is an individual adventure, and it's a life experience that is so full of success and failure and adapting and overcoming and challenges that are unforeseen on the endeavor side and on the obstacle side. But on the other side of the coin is treasure hunt and adventure and an adventure of a lifetime, and each day is seeing new things and new people. In the stretch of a Hoka Hey, I thought about this in 2022. We hit every state west of the Mississippi except for two states, I think, and that is in the space of a couple of weeks. So and for riders like K Solo, 10 days. But uh, uh, that stretch of time, you're seeing a swath of America that you couldn't see in any other way. From riding a motorcycle that it puts you in the road, it puts you in the terrain, it puts you in the setting that you're riding through versus a cage or a car where you're just focused on destination. And on that motorcycle, being able to see that much of America in that space of time and that many hours, and running into the people that we run into and the diversity that we experience in America is just a cherished experience. So, I think it's a really strong reward experience and a strong challenge experience at the same time.
Yes. Thank you, Don.
Indeed, man. Indeed. So we're gonna jump back before we get going, Doc. We're gonna jump back. Now, your first Hoka Hey was in 2020. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we're gonna go all the way back to 2020, and we're gonna work our way forward. I know the mission was different this time because you wanted to redeem yourself. You want to feel as though you can accomplish it. But even in the very beginning, what inspired you or motivated you to want to ride the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge and to do it on that particular bike?
I think like most of us that really are passionate about riding motorcycles, our attachment to that motorcycle is a real part of the experience. We do things to personalize our motorcycle. We do things to get more out of the motorcycle for the experience that we're looking for when we get on the road. And that motorcycle was really all of that and more, because that motorcycle, I built an attachment not just to the machine, but to the people that taught me how to work on that motorcycle. It was really building that motorcycle took 1.5 years from a basket case initially. And I forged some of the strongest relationships and friendships that I've ever had in the building of that motorcycle. And one man in particular that was key in that, a gentleman by the name of John Hall, a Central Texas biker legend. Him and his brother used to own a Harley dealership here in Central Texas. He really took me under his wing in building that motorcycle. And his friendship it started a friendship that lasted through the rest of John's life. He passed away the October before Hoka Hey 24. So in building that motorcycle, I just developed an attachment to that bike that, I was tweaking it on a regular basis and adjusting it to ride long distances with the club. And I wanted that motorcycle, the building of that motorcycle from the start was, I didn't want, a museum piece. I didn't want a short stretch motorcycle or a bar hopper or that kind of experience. I wanted to be able to ride that motorcycle long distance. And so those adjustments started before Hoka Hey 2020. And 2020 really, I was inspired by, Riot, who wrote, Hoka Hey 2018, and, signed up for 2020. And I wanted to ride that motorcycle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Man, that is. Now, are you a mechanic by trade? Is it something that's, you've been tinkering with bikes, or?
I have always been, since I was a kid, I'm your mom's worst nightmare. I'm taking apart the machine. I'm taking apart the washing machine to see how it works.
A vacuum cleaner didn't stand a chance in your house.
Yeah, I built my first motorcycle, or repaired my first motorcycle, when I was 11 years old. It was a Suzuki 50 from the behind some old lady's old barn, and I got that bike on the road, at 11 years old, and I wish I still had that motorcycle. But when my wife and I first got married, we owned 2 Ford Pintos, and I was still in college. We didn't make much money, so I didn't have any choice but to learn mechanicking. I was working on a Ford Pinto every weekend.
Okay.
So wrenching on things has always been part of my life, and wrenching on a motorcycle is sort of natural for me. But I wanted to learn old motorcycle mechanics, and it turns out that in an old bike like that, there's as much art as there is science, and it's not just shop manual. There's a lot of art that goes into those old motorcycles and tricks to the trade that you can't learn from a book. So you got to learn it from an old school person that can teach you those things. And really, that was part of the experience and part of the attraction to having the motorcycle.
Okay. Doc?
Yeah, I got one. Let's talk about medicine and riding. So, yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said I want to talk about medicine and riding. So as a physician, you understand the limits of the human body, right? So how has your medical background influenced the way you prepare for extreme rides like the Hoka Hey?
I think, as far as preparing myself for a long ride, I think, especially long distance riding, I think my experience is the same as everybody else's, and that is, trial and error wins the game. You got to get on the road and put some miles under you, and pain will tell you what you need to do next, whether it's move a foot peg out an inch or adjust your handlebars, or you put, if your goal is like a Hoka Hey goal of riding 20 hours a day, whatever your schedule is for riding Hoka Hey. Mine was to ride 20 hours a day. That was my goal each day. In order to accomplish that, you're going to have to practice doing it, and you get on the road and do it, and you pay attention to your body.
Right.
Now I have, some advantage to thinking about, my body medically, but it doesn't matter a whole lot when you're hurting, and adjusting your motorcycle to accommodate. I'll tell you the thing that it's mattered the most for to me, though, the way that it's mattered the most is actually the other direction. I think it's being a motorcycle rider and being a biker is definitely pollinated my examination room experience. It's changed the way I communicate as a person with patients, and it's allowed me to speak language that languages that meet patients where they're at. So I speak truck driver, I speak biker, I speak a lot of these languages that aren't they aren't highly rarefied, highfalutin languages, but they matter a lot to patients. So I cherish that a lot. I value that part of my, where my experiences of being a biker and my experience of being a physician come together.
Now, you mentioned being a biker, and I always enjoy giving club affiliations their recognition. You are a member of the Boozefighters, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and just what you would like to share about that organization, your time there, current position, if you have a current position.
I'm in my 18th year of being a patch holding booze fighter. Booze Fighters Motorcycle Club, or a very old historic club in the biker community or in the club world. And that was one of my attractions to joining the Booze Fighters Motorcycle Club. Is I cherish that history. I cherish the evolution of the American biker and where the American biker comes from, and what that means in its reality, not just its movie meaning or its stereotyped meaning. It's a highly wonderful, nuanced community, a brotherhood that I've cherished for a lot of years of my life, and dedicated a lot of my life to that brotherhood. And I'm the president of the Boneyard chapter in Belton, Texas, of the Booze Fighters Motorcycle Club, and have been for many years.
Okay, nice. And I have to ask you this question right here: is during the challenge, and I know during 2020 there was a couple of guys I think like Riot was riding, Diesel was riding, a couple of other Booze Fighters was riding, my SF Legend was riding. But the thing is, how did that brotherhood support you during the ride? Were they there?
Yeah, I mean, there were situations where the brotherhood helped me out quite a bit on the road, and certainly in 2024, I absolutely would not have finished on the Panhead in 2024 had it not been for brotherhood help. I got stranded, and first of all, Hoka Hey passed a rule for me or for other riders in my situation after the 2020 Hoka Hey that allowed us, if you're on a vintage bike, to have a parts truck. So I had a parts truck, so that way I had access to parts when I was on the road. And my parts truck got lost on the Canadian border because they wouldn't let my parts truck driver cross the border. So he was stranded in Montana. I got into Alberta, Canada, and my handlebars broke in half. And when my handlebars broke in half, it was midnight in the Banff National Forest. I mean, literally completely in the middle of nowhere. And I was just screwed. You know, I had no parts truck. I put the word out to the Booze Fighter Nation to say, hey, you know, if there's anybody who wants a vacation, I'll get you into my truck and you could drive my truck across the border. You know, I'd lose a few days with that, but that was one solution. Well, it turned out that a brother in the club had just moved 1 month before that from Ontario to Alberta. 1 month before that. He's the only booze fighter in the entire province of Alberta. A gentleman by the name of Grizz. And he's my lifelong brother, and I owe him enormously. He's probably listening to this podcast right now too. So I love
shout out to Grizz. Indeed.
Shout out to Grizz.
Shout out to Grizz.
And Grizz answered the call, and not only that, he had somebody he knew who's now just patched out this last week, Booze Fighter Cochise, who is a parts broker at the time for 5 independent Harley dealerships or independent motorcycle shops in Alberta. And he just happened to know him, and they were able to put it all together and make it work and got me handlebars. And, you know, I rode in the rain that next morning or next day to Edmonton, Alberta, and got into a motorcycle shop with my right handlebar laying in my lap. And they were able to get me a new set of handlebars and get them on the bike. And, you know, because you can imagine on a Panhead, there's just not access to parts isn't something you can just walk into a dealership and get, you know,
right.
or anyone that knows anything about your motorcycle. So, you know, without that help, you know, I wouldn't have made it to the finish line. And it was indispensable and it was cosmic in its proportion that he would have just moved there the month before. I got very fortunate, and, you know, it seems beyond luck to me. You know, I think between the 3 Hoka Heys, you know, at times it felt like trying to roll dice and coming up, you know, empty a few times. But, you know, eventually if you keep rolling the dice enough, it's going to work out for you, you know, and life is going to come together and the stars are going to align and you're going to catch a break. And I caught a break, and that break made the day.
Yeah, man. You know it. 22, man. These 2 gentlemen here, they came to save my hide out in Wyoming, man. They rode. They rode as like, K Solo, you need a tire, man. We're about 2.5 hours from you, but we're gonna get you a tire. And like I say, man, as soon as we got that rear tire taken off, these 2 fine, outstanding Hoka Hey gentlemen right here rode up, and it was like, here you go.
And that happens over and over again in Hoka Hey. You know, it's not just a club experience. It's you know, it's a American biker experience that's been going on since the birth of riding motorcycles. You know, the first motorcycle happened on day 1, and day 2, somebody wanted to say, hold my beer and watch this, you know.
Hold my beer, man. Hold my beer. How many times we heard that one? But I want to go back again. I want to go back to 20 again. For that ride, the first time taking this bike out. Now, this bike here has been through a couple of different names. What did it start out as? Because
so the motorcycle was originally named, the guy that helped me build it, John Hall, his mother-in-law and his wife, they called it Christine, because even though we took 1.5 years to build it, I kept bringing it back, because something would break and I'd bring it back, and something would break and I'd be over at John's house working on it again, and it kept coming back. So it was like the Stephen King novel, Christine. It kept coming back. And so they called it Christine for forever. Well, this last Hoka Hey, I was texting my daughters, and I texted them a message, and somehow bike in my message got auto-corrected to Nigel. And I'm not sure how that happened, but I got on the road and my kids were like, Nigel? Who's Nigel? And so by the time I got back off the road and checked social media again, my bike had been renamed to Nigel, So everybody started calling her Nigel. So I don't know. I got a girl bike named Nigel.
Indeed, man. I thought that was a funny story when you told me about it. I said, oh, man. Oh, good deal, good deal. Doc?
Hey, so do you think, which is harder, the physical or the mental on a challenge like this?
I think by far it's mental. Yeah, I do. I think, if I was going to give a piece of advice to somebody who, first of all, if you're riding Hoka Hey, you've already got experience under your belt. You've got a select audience that you're talking to with Hoka Hey, even if they haven't ridden a single mile of Hoka Hey yet. So they're accomplished riders all. But Hoka Hey is a unique experience in that regard. There's not too many times that even in long distance riding, you string it together this many miles and this many days in a road for the type of roads that we ride on in Hoka Hey. So, I think in order, tell me your question again, Doc.
Doc, you mute, Doc.
So yeah, what do you think is harder, the physical endurance or the mental discipline required for the ride?
Yeah. So I think that there's undoubtedly going to be a space in time, or maybe a few spaces in time, where the mental challenge of Hoka Hey is going to get to you, and it will, failure looms large, and things like, the embarrassment of failure. You've put yourself out there, you've put yourself out on social media, people are tracking you live. And so you can feel like you're failing on a bit of a stage. And that thought percolates in your mind, or maybe an obstacle trips you up, or maybe you're so exhausted that you just like, I can't do this. This is beyond my ability. And I think what's important to recognize in this is that look at who you're surrounded by. There's nobody here that's better than you. You can do it. You can do hard things. You've already done hard things, so stick to it. I had one time in Hoka Hey 22 where I hit a moment like that, just really, really tough. And I went to bed that night, and I called my wife that evening, and I told her, I said, I don't think I'm going to make it to the finish line again, not in time to be able to do it. And she gave me some good advice. She said, just go to bed, get some sleep, rethink, where we're at, look at it again in the morning. And I woke up that next morning, and it's like somebody shuffled the cards in my head. And I just like, hey, you know what? I may fail, but I'm damn sure going to fail if I lay here. And if I get on the road, then I don't know. Let's see what happens. And I had one of my best day of riding that next day that I'd had it all. I busted it out heavy. And because the day before, when I felt that, I had gotten lost. I took a wrong turn, and I lost 450 miles that day. It was, and Hoka Hey 22, I started 2 days behind everybody because I lost my engine on the first day on the Panhead. I turned around, got on a different bike, and I rode it on an Ultra Classic.
Mm-hmm.
So that I was already running a bit behind, but when I lost that mile, I made up a bunch of ground, but when I lost those miles, it hurt. It hurt bad. So, the mental challenge, I think, is really where the money's at. You can hurt, but it'll get better the next day.
Okay. Are we there? Did I
Yeah,
lose
I'm here.
everybody? Did I lose everybody?
No, we're here.
Were you able to hear me out? Yeah.
Yes, I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you. Yes.
Yeah.
And I was gonna. My follow up was just for you and K Solo, but what kept you going? What keeps you going? I always ask K Solo that. What kept you going when it's mentally exhausted on the Hoka Hey challenge? What keeps you going? And you said your wife. You talked to your wife. So would you say that your wife kept you going, or
Yeah, I think so. If you need that, then reach out and get some help from somebody you trust to talk to. Sometimes a sounding board can be pretty helpful. There's lots of things that help me out in that moment. I think it's one thing that's built into most people that finished Hoka Hey. Most riders who finish Hoka Hey, they have that experience of digging deep for an extra 10%. So when you run up against 100% of yourself,
Yep.
it's a lie, because there's that 100% of yourself that you think you have, you got an extra 10% in there someplace. So dig deep for it. And when you dig deep for it, you find that you can do things that are beyond your perceived limits. And I think that's important to file away. You got more in the tank than you think you do.
Yeah.
So dig deep, find that 10%, call somebody to remind you that you can do hard things if needed, but you got that extra 10%.
Yeah. I love that, man. That extra 10%. We're gonna jump here to some of the footage from the challenge.
Yes.
I think we actually caught you,
Come on
or
in.
we probably
Come
brought
on
some in from the challenge itself during the
Today
first.
we're gonna have a special guest on with us, a group of women who have.
As a
went
group
out
of
and
women.
done-
Did I get
Today,
the women? Hold on.
today,
Let me
so
get
the
that right.
past couple of days have been a little rough. Entry into Canada has not been awesome because of losing our parts truck, and then first day in Canada, my handlebars broke, so half of that time riding around with half your handlebars in your lap is not optimal and doesn't make for getting decent miles. But we were able to get everything set up to have just huge amount of assistance from 2Js and all of the parties that came together to kind of help me out with parts and get the bike going. And last night we were able to get everything all put back together. This morning I'm back on track. It's a little bit tough riding this morning because it's pea soup thick fog, but we got our first 100 miles under our belt, and we're back on track. So today, hopefully this is a great day as far as laying down some miles. I'm in Edson, Alberta, Canada, and probably heading into the toughest part of the ride. The nice thing is now we've got handlebars that don't lay in my lap anymore, or at least part of them. And it's really comfortable. So I was able to clean out my air cleaner yesterday. That's a huge help. Makes the bike much easier to start, especially those morning starts. I was having the first 2 days I was in Canada having to take the air cleaner off to get the bike started. So Oil leak's not too bad. I'm losing about 1 quart of oil a day from this leaking base gasket right there. And you know, makes for some ugliness, but you know, as they say, as long as it's leaking oil, you know it's got oil in it. So we'll be all right. You know, that part of, you know, everything mechanically is running really great. So I'm very optimistic, and we're just, you know, I got a good night's rest last night. I was able to sleep next to my bike in 2J's shop and got a great night's sleep and a shower that improves things so much as far as how I feel. So I'm really looking forward to rocking a really good day, and I hope you rock a great day too.
Oh man, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I am glad. I am glad that we were able to catch you on that, highlight you on that right there, man. And I did not know that. Like, hey, coming back 2 years later, 3 years later, is going to be putting it on. But good stuff, good stuff. But now I got to ask you this question right here. What was your most problematic issue with that bike? Your most problematic issue?
It's been a different thing each Hoka Hey, but the problem I had the most trouble with Hoka Hey 2024 was my clutch. I had a problem with my my clutch tensioner, my adjusting system, and it turned out to be because of my throwout bearing. So when you step on your clutch, the clutch engages and spins so that the pressure plates aren't together and your clutch can spin. And when it's spinning and the engine's driving, you know, your clutch basket, but the bike's not moving, that's the clutch engaged, and it spins against something called a throwout bearing in your transmission. Well, mine got seized up. So the shafts internally were rubbing against each other, and basically my adjusting screw was getting sacrificed. So when I first discovered the problem, I didn't want to, because my transmission is very proprietary, I wasn't going to be able to get parts internally on the road, and I didn't have internal parts in my parts truck. So I just made the decision I was going to sacrifice that part. And that adjuster screw, I calculated I could file the end of that thing down and take it down one step at a time. You know, I used a Dremel tool one day, and then I ended up using a bastard file, and I would just file it down. It'd take me a half hour or so and file that thing down and file the divot out of it. And that'd buy me 2 days of clutch. And then I'd, you know, end up with the same problem again, where I'd stomp on the clutch and it wouldn't fully engage. And, you know, then I knew I had to stop and do it again. But I knew I could limp through with that part being sacrificed, hopefully till the end, because I had another half inch or so of adjustment in the screw. And that's really I made that decision so I didn't have to break open the transmission.
Right.
Was worried that I wouldn't be able to get the transmission back together on the road.
Right.
So it ended up being the right decision, but it cost a lot of time and a lot of, you know, knuckle busting trying to file away the end of that adjuster screw. But it turned out saving the day. But I'll tell you, I crossed the finish line and I couldn't kick the bike back over. That failed completely at the finish line.
At the finish line. That was it.
Finish line. Literally at the finish line. I could not ride that bike away from the finish line.
Wow.
Right. That's a fact.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah. That's how I came in 22. I reached out. I said, Beth, look, I know I can't come in before 10 days, but my bike is in limp mode. I am going to ride all the way to the finish line so that if I can't get this thing started up, I'm just going to push it across the finish line.
Wise.
Yeah, man.
Not your
Good.
first rodeo.
I was not my
Jason.
first rodeo. I was not going to turn that thing off to save my life, man. I
Yeah.
pull up to the gas station. I'm limping, broke foot. I'm limping. I'm trying to get gas, man. They said, your bike is running. I'm like, I can't turn it off. I can't turn it off. Man.
Because of that Alcan Highway, though, I mean, I'm hard pressed to think of a single system that didn't break on that bike.
Right.
I completely lost my front end. I had no suspension on the front end. I lost my front brakes, no front brakes. Broke my handlebars in half.
Man.
My magneto was zip tied to a brake line from Mississippi all the way to the finish line. My rear exhaust pipe was floating free because I lost my mounting stud in the rear exhaust pipe, lost my tail light, lost my accessory lights. It was punishing. That two things punished that bike horribly: Mississippi and the Alcan Highway.
And the Alcan Highway.
I can't tell you which one was worse, Mississippi or the Alcan Highway.
Now, I'm going to ask you. We know the bike took a beating,
Yeah.
but what did the rider take? How was the rider, man?
I'll tell you, my hands seemed to take the most beating. The rest of me did reasonably okay. You know, I've had back surgery in the past, so my back is a little suspect anyway, but that worked out all right. My hands were swollen for 3 months after Hoka Hey. It took 3 months for my hands to go down, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have a cruise control on that thing, so
same here.
You know,
I can attest to that. It took a while before the numbness, the vibration out of my hands finished.
Yeah.
I really haven't heard any other riders talk about it, but I can agree with you. I mean, I'm like, wow, I'm finished riding. I really wasn't in the cold or anything like that, but just the vibration and the swelling in my hands was like for weeks, and it didn't go away. Yeah.
Okay, so Lo, do you ride with cruise control when you ride?
Hey, I lock it in at about 90, man. If it's a straightaway, I lock it in at 90. So that's why I got to give my hat off to him, because I remember when my 09, my cruise went out, and I was out in the middle of nowhere, and I mean, I'm like on 50, the longest, and I'm literally having to hold that thing. So my forearm is just like jacked. My hands are like, you can't switch it off. And then I'm trying to reach across with my other hand to hold the throttle. I'm like, man, I'm going to kill my daggone self. So I was trying to do everything I could to just keep going, keep forward momentum before I could get to a dealership to get it, the reset, to get it fixed. But, you know, for anybody riding a bike without cruise control, my hat off to you, man. That's right. Did you have any issues with your bike on cruise control, Doc?
I didn't use it.
You didn't use it at all?
No. You know, I've had, you know, those manual cruise controls. It has a little thing, you spin it and it locks the throttle right there. You can unspin it. So that always bothered me, so I never use it. So I'm one of them riders out here. I think this forearm is a little bit stronger than this forearm.
Yeah.
There's two things, and this for you, Doc. There's two things that saved the day on that Panhead. One is the Panhead has that same little screw, that little knurled knob screw, you know, that's useless. But they make a throttle lock that is a cammed throttle lock. You put it on there, and all you do is take your thumb and flick it 90 degrees, and it locks the throttle. So you don't have to turn that screw anymore. It's 90 degrees, locks the throttle. That helps out a lot. The other thing that helped out a lot is a cramp buster. Shout out to Cramp Buster. I carry two of them in my toolbox just in case. But it's a plastic piece that clamps onto your handle grip, so that way when you rest the heel of your hand on that cramp buster, you can do your throttle with your hand without having to do this.
Yeah.
And so after hours of riding, that makes all the difference. I mean, it really makes a massive difference in being able to do it, because had I not had that for this last Hoka Hey, I don't know that I would have had, I'd have had a cramp of the century,
Yeah.
So, oh, Doc, it's on you, Doc. I'll ask after you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Hyde, I want to jump into your family. I heard you mention about your wife, but I like to dig a little bit deeper. So, how has the role of your family played in encouraging you to pursue this? And what about your children and grandchildren? When I say family, I mean your whole village.
Yeah. My wife and my kids, I have 3 daughters, and they're all grown, working in the world, and I've got 3 grandsons and a new grandchild on the way. My youngest daughter Addie has a baby due in April, so we have a growing concern there. So my family is highly addicted to following Hoka Hey. And it's a grueling experience for them too, because they're following along minute by minute. Now, my sister, she joins into Hoka Hey and watching Hoka Hey like she's watching World Cup, so she is highly invested when it comes to watching Hoka Hey.
She need to be tuned in. Are you riding? Are you riding again? Are you riding again this year?
Yeah, I'm planning on riding it again this year. Yeah.
Let them know they need to tune in right here with the Riding with K Solo podcast show with the impeccable Doc Remy on Hoka Hey Talk. We're going to be covering it right here. This is going to be the premier channel for people looking to follow the Hoka Hey. Okay.
Right,
I just want to throw that shameless plug in there.
So my daughters are very invested in following it, and my mother and father-in-law, they were very interested in me finishing, and everybody was just kind of in on the task. Everybody was pulling for me, and they shared in my downs, and they shared in my ups, and they were all dancing a jig, for me at the finish line at 24. It was as much of a payoff for them as it was for me. Yeah.
Nice.
Now I want to jump back a little bit. You mentioned the part about failing, the fear of failing. I want to go a little bit deeper into that. Was it when you say the fear of failing, was it your challenge? Was it you saying that you were not able to finish it? Were you saying that, hey, I'm the president of this chapter, I lead by example? What type of fear were you experiencing when you say the fear of failing?
I think Hoka Hey is one of those experiences where you really put yourself out there to potentially fail on an epic scale. Meaning, what I mean by that is internally, all your preparation and all of your investment and all of your work in Hoka Hey, if you don't accomplish the goal, then it's undoubtedly a letdown. And I can tell you firsthand, it's a brutal letdown. But there are layers to this for Hoka Hey that amplify that, or would appear to amplify it. I think is a better way to put it. So your internal struggle, I think it's a good example of how you incorporate failure into your life. It's possible on almost all of the epic journeys that we have in life. Failure is a possibility. And when you're on Hoka Hey, you're out there public, you're publicly broadcasting what you're doing. It's followed live by people. My club is very invested in it, and my family's very invested in it. And so a lot of people are watching, and a lot of people are very invested in what you're doing. So you sure don't want to let them down.
Right.
And so, that makes your own personal feelings about it, more risky. I would caution folks against getting too sucked in too deep into that thought, because it can really suck you down into a vortex of fear, and many people, rather than undertake something like this, they see that risk up front, and they don't take the experience, they don't take the opportunity, for fear of exactly that failure. How many experiences have all of us had in our life where we avoid doing something because of the way it will make us look, or the way it, or the risk of failure? And Hoka Hey will do that to you. It'll do that to you because you got plenty of time to think about it when you're on the road. More time than you want if what you're thinking about is failure.
Right.
So when it happens, it can be a devastating experience. But I would caution people against getting sucked too deep into that. It's not the end of the world. There is another day, and you'll live to fight another day, and hopefully, and you come back and fight again. It was devastating to not finish in 2020.
Right.
It was even more devastating in 22 because I blew my engine the first day.
First day out. Yep.
First day out. I had 300 miles on Hoka Hey, and there I was on the side of the road, couldn't fix it. It just, it was brutal. It was a
kick right in the buttocks.
Right in the buttock. Yeah. It was a humiliating experience. But it wasn't. You play the hand of cards that you're dealt.
Right.
And stick with it. Keep fighting every way you can. I finished Hoka Hey 22 on a different bike.
Yep.
But I wasn't going to live another 2 years without finishing Hoka Hey. I already lived 4 years, trying to finish Hoka Hey at that point. Okay. So, it did help me for 24, I think, because it removes some pressure. Finishing Hoka Hey 22, it removed some pressure from me on that experience, and I was able to enjoy the moment that I was in a lot better in 24 because of that.
Okay. Hey, I have to let Doc get this one last question in because she has to get going. Doc, you have one last question you want to?
I do. Your patients that you work with on a daily basis, if they know about you and the hundreds and hundreds and thousands of miles that you ride and put in, what would you want them to know about you stepping out as a physician, stepping out and riding this challenging ride? What would you want your patients to think about you and know about you?
Well, I hope they just see a side of me that's real. I have lived my whole life working hard and playing hard, and I do both, and I'll do both all the way to the finish line. I'm a Marine. I learned to do that, at a young age.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Doc. Wait a minute. Hold on. What did he just say, Doc?
He said he was a Marine.
I am a Marine for sure. Yeah.
Well, we got to give this to you. Not our fault. I'm really
Hey, you
I had to slip that in there. There's no way I was going to let that go.
He slipped that one in there because I didn't find it in my homework. But good deal. Doc, we know you got to get going tonight, but we want to thank you for coming on. Please be safe. And what do you have going on and where are you headed?
So right now I'm at St. Charles Harley-Davidson, and I came because I was supporting Paris McGowan. She's the Harley mechanic, first African-American woman Harley-Davidson mechanic. So tonight she was out there on display. She had her motorcycle up there on the stand. They had a spotlight out there, and she's out there putting a cam on her motorcycle. She's teaching the ladies how she do what she do as a mechanic. And so that's what I'm here doing. And I'm getting ready to leave right up after here, head over to go pick up some donated books from Most Wanted. And then I'm going back to Nashville. So I'm just rolling, man. I'm rolling.
That's what's up, Doc. That's what's up. I'm super proud of you, Doc. I am super proud of you. I'm going to definitely be promoting the gala tonight on the closing, and we're going to keep pushing the GoFundMe because we're doing good. We're over $3,000. We're moving forward. We're going to hit our goal. I know we will. Next weekend, we're going to hit our goal. I'm going to present you with that big check with a big old smile on our face, and we did it. All right, Doc, you be safe, all right?
All right, nice to meet you, Don.
It's a pleasure, Doc.
Good night, everybody.
All right, Doc. Hey, Doc, you're where?
I'm in the building.
All right, Doc, you take care. Have a good night. Oh, man, that's my great host right there, my great co-host, Doc Remy. She's on a mission right now, man. She's shaking and baking. So listen, now we're going to take a quick break, quick pause, a 60-second pause, and then we'll be right back. Everybody stay with us. We're looking good on YouTube. We're looking good on Facebook, on other platforms, but we got to take a quick break. Right quick. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. Hey, folks, it's K Solo of Riding with K Solo podcast. Hey, just want to let you know, tune in every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific, right here on Riding with K Solo, the podcast on YouTube and broadcasting on Facebook. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, where we're going to be highlighting the unsung riders from across the nation, riding the highways and byways, the back roads, the adventures, the journeys, the tales, and the legacies. Make sure you tune in right here, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific, Riding with K Solo, the podcast. And just like that, we are back. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, man. We get ready to wrap this thing up, man. I don't want to hold you too long. Hey, folks, if you have any questions for Hyde, drop them in the comment. We're going to try to get them. Make sure that you type hashtag Hyde in the comment for the free giveaway tonight. We're going to be giving away a free promo pack. And I think I'm going to feel a little generous and give away a podcast t-shirt tonight. Our last show, we gave away a podcast hoodie. And tonight, we're going to give away, let me make sure I got this right. We're going to give away a free t-shirt. All right. So listen, we're going to get ready to wrap this thing up. I got a few more questions I just want to run by you. Like I say, I watched Denver Woods episode on Twin Life, and it was a great episode, man. You really went to a lot of information. So now here we go. We're getting ready to looking at doing the 2026 Hoka Hey again. What is our preparation, and will you be riding that same bike?
That's going to be a decision maybe I'll have made in the next month or so. It'll depend on how the bike comes together and what things look like. I have several modifications I've made for this year that hopefully improve the endurance of the bike, and we'll see how that all comes together. And if it doesn't come together that the bike is ready to go, then I'll ride my Ultra Classic.
Okay,
I plan on doing it. Yeah.
Okay, so you rode Ultra Classic in 22, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And what happened with that?
With the Panhead that year?
No. Did you have any issues in 22?
Yeah, 22. That's when I blew my engine the first day, and turned around and got on a different bike, and that's the Ultra.
Okay, there we go. So
2 days behind everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that starting 2 days behind?
Well, lonely. I wasn't seeing too many folks, but I caught up to a few,
Yeah.
I caught up pretty well, and we made some distance and caught up to the majority of folks.
Mm-hmm.
I think I ended up finishing about middle of the pack for 22.
Nice.
Not bad.
Nice. Nice. Have you ever considered riding with someone or riding with a group?
Especially on the Panhead, I just it introduces a level of worry that um, sort of um, makes it undoable on the Panhead to ride
Right.
with a
Yeah.
group because
Oh yeah.
I'm worried about holding other folks up,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't want to be a burden to anybody else, and so it just releases a burden for me to not have to worry about that when I'm on the road. But if I was on the Ultra Classic, it'd be kind of nice, it'd be kind of fun to ride with a group. I'm not. I'm probably never going to be one of the front of the pack folks like UK
Mhm.
Solo. It's just not my
Woo!
riding. I can't. It's just not my skill set. Let's say, but um, um, I do like riding with intensity, um, but so riding with a group of folks or other folks, if I'm on the Ultra Classic, I'm not opposed to that. That'd be kind of fun.
Okay. Okay. Now, we don't want to get too deep into the spiritual, but did you have a spiritual moment on there? Maybe it was a scene. Maybe it was just a feeling by yourself. I know you talked about being on the Alpine as probably the hardest part of the ride, where there was no signal, people couldn't see you moving or anything.
I did, and I had two. I had two of them. That's okay. I mean, John Hall, who helped me build the motorcycle and is my best friend in the world, passed away the October before OK 2024. And John was as invested in me finishing on that bike as I was, and we worked together on ideas and ways of modifying the bike to make it more endurance uh, friendly. And John passed away unexpectedly, and it was a devastating loss. And I really felt, his presence and throughout Hoka Hey. It's just a feeling I had. I had another, poignant experience that was a little more off the beaten path, probably. I um, I was in Oklahoma and coming up on a horrendous storm, and I got in the middle of that storm, and it was pitch black. There ended up being a tornado in that storm, and of course, I didn't hit the tornado, but the weather was absolutely pitch black inside that storm, and just heavy, heavy, heavy. And a column of light came down on me on that motorcycle. I can't explain it. I can't explain it, where it came from or what it was, but it's like a spotlight shining down straight from above, right on top of my tank. And I found out 2 days later that when that happened, my mother-in-law passed away. And I didn't know that till 2 days after the fact. Whether that was coincidence, happenstance, or whatever that was, it was a very poignant moment for me, a very touching moment for me. And Alice, my mother-in-law, was just a beautiful, beautiful woman and a great woman, and very, very invested in me finishing Hoka Hey. And if she had a role in me finishing Hoka Hey, I'm thankful for it.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. We all have those moments. Some will share them, some won't. But I just had to ask her because I know I had my moment. Um, you know, and talking to Rad had his moments, and thankfully you didn't have any accidents or anything like that where you just pushed yourself too far. For people that's considering riding a Hoka Hey, what advice would you give them?
I think the main advice I would give them is it's a dangerous experience. It's not to be taken lightly, and make sure that you're riding your race, that you're not riding, outside your skill set and outside what you have practiced, and don't feel pressure from outside yourself to be a different rider for Hoka Hey than you're prepared to be prior to Hoka Hey. Be the rider you are. Ride your ride, and don't let external pressures put something on you that that doesn't fit with you. It is. But life is full of risk. We accept risk in so many things in life, and so that's true with Hoka Hey too. And for me, it's a approach to life that's worth the risk. People might disagree with that. Some folks would look at it and disagree with that, but I that's cool. But ride your ride.
Ride your ride.
Be adapt and overcome for yourself. Make it a personal challenge for yourself, and don't let external pressures dictate your ride.
Yeah, I agree. Ride your ride, man. Know your limits and don't outride your guardian angels.
There you go.
That's it. That's it. I've been there, man. I've been there. All right. Well, this has been a great episode. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm not going to take it all the way out tonight because some of us are going to be hitting the road in the morning. Is there anything else that you would like to cover tonight that we did not touch on that maybe you didn't get to talk about when you were with Denver?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But hit me up on Facebook if you have any questions or anything you'd like to know. I'm happy to help out any way I can.
Definitely, folks. Make sure you go check him up on Facebook. That would be under Don. Pronounce that Chaffer.
Yeah, Chaffer, like the
Chaffer,
Yep.
Chaffer, John Chaffer, Don Chaffer, and hit him up, man. Got some great photos on there as well. Now, before we get out, because I still got a couple questions on my tab here. Speed wise, how was your speed, and what set your speed on that bike?
I have a Baker 6-4 transmission in that bike, so I actually have an overdrive gear, and so I can cruise at 80. Okay. So my altitude changes in elevation and lots of grade, going up grades limits that. So the top end for that motorcycle is 70 to 75 if I'm dealing with a lot of grade changes. But cruising on a flat open road, I can cruise at 80, 85. Okay. So that's really what I was looking for, is to go 85.
That was the sweet spot for you?
Yeah.
Okay. This was definitely a legendary ride, man. Like I say, I really enjoyed following you on it. And it was like, you were dealing with it day to day. Every day brought something new. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you definitely displayed the spirit of the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, man. My hat off to you once again. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I don't want to dig too deep into it. Now, this right here, we talked about those moments, and folks, this was a solo moment to me when I was putting this together. Some riders become legends because of the ride, while others become legends for what they ride. It's a powerful reminder of both the journey and the vehicle that carries us, highlighting the connection between the rider's experience and their choice of ride. Each has its own story and impact on the legacy they create. And that's exactly what you did, Hyde. You created a legacy, man, that I don't think it will ever be topped again. People are going to forever talk about you riding a Hoka Hey on this bike. A 76-year-old bike? A 76-year-old motorcycle, man. So without a doubt, I'm going to give you one of these right here. A big old round of applause for doing that.
Thank
you. And before we go, a couple of people that inspired you, that influenced you and motivated you to do the challenge and own the challenge.
Well, I think without a doubt, a big inspiration for me was, Jeff Wyatt. He's inspirational to me as a biker, and he was inspirational to me in Hoka Hey. He certainly inspired me to ride my first Hoka Hey, and helped to mentor and coach me through that experience early on. And the Mile Monsters, I haven't mentioned Mile Monsters, but I ride with the Mile Monsters as a charity when I'm riding on Hoka Hey, and in between, that group of folks, like-minded folks, helping kids out with muscular dystrophy and helping them live their best lives, helping those heroes live their best lives to the extent possible. The inspirational riders that are in that community are just too numerous to name. Twister's birthday's today, so happy birthday, Twister. But the number of impressive riders, Hop and Riot and Twister and Sparks and Iceman, and so many riders within that community, just monster legends. They are just beasts when it comes to long distance riding. So impressive to me.
There's just one last thing that I just want to, I'm hopping around. Just one last thing I want to mention. You did not have saddlebags. You did not have a tour pack. This was literally your gear strapped to your sissy bar. And sometimes, didn't you even wear a backpack though?
No, I have a pack that goes on that, a backpack that goes on that. It's really a camelback. Mm-hmm. So I carry 3 liters of water that's strapped onto that, and it also holds my rain gear. But what's in that bag, this is an exercise in minimalism. I don't have a whole lot of room on that motorcycle I have a very refined toolkit that's been developed over, many years. But what's in that bag is actually, I ride on Hoka Hey with the same thing in that bag as I do going for a weekend trip. Same thing.
There you go. Same thing. I don't even pack.
I don't pack for a weekend trip any different than I do for Hoka Hey.
Yeah.
So there's only so much that'll fit in there, and everything else I don't need. Okay. So it's a minimalist experience riding a Panhead, but when I ride my Ultra Classic, I'm always impressed by how much I can figure out to pack into those saddlebags and tour pack. But on the Panhead, it kind of reduces that.
Good deal. Hey, folks, I know I don't mention this enough. If you would please go over, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I need to start doing that more. If you enjoy the content that we're putting out, Doc Remy and I on Ride Okay Solo, the podcast show, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. We need to get it up. They just opened another window up for the platform, and we're going to start diving into that. We'll be able to post products on the YouTube that you can get discounts on when you order through the podcast link on an episode. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, folks. We'll greatly appreciate it. And I know I'm all over the place. If anyone was wondering, this is you. This was your words right here, Don. If you can see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my text thread. That's how we got Nigel. Yeah.
I was trying to find it, man. Well, listen, I just want to thank you for coming on the show tonight and sharing your journey, your event, your legacy. I know we didn't even dive into outside of you riding a Hoka Hey, but we do know you're a booze fighter, president of a chapter. You've been there for 18 years. Any other incredible rides or journeys you've been on?
Yeah, I mean, I've ridden a few club rides that have been epic. I was one of the first 4 booze fighters to complete a 1,524 ride, a Saddle Sore Gold for IBA. But there were 4 booze fighters that were the first to complete that ride, and I was one of those. And those brothers are always be very close to me. 3 of them are still in the club. So It was a great experience. There's been many of those. Visiting brothers all over the United States is really what it's about, and getting on the road and
Right.
epic journeys to go do that have been just hugely rewarding. So there's been many of those that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And before we go, this is it. I promise you this last one. We did not address your nonprofit. Who will you be riding for?
So I'll be riding for Mile Monsters again.
Okay.
And yep.
Okay. So shout out to Ride Mile Monsters. Make sure you go over and check them out. They got a nice page. They got a nice website to go over there and get more information. They're a nonprofit organization helping kids live their best life. I can't pronounce the word. Dunchhausen? Is it
Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Yeah, there you go. Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. But hey, I just want to thank you for coming on tonight. Greatly appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your journey, Hyde.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me, K Solo.
Without a doubt. All right. You take care. You have a good night.
All right.
All right. Hey, folks, man, we're going to cut this one short tonight, but we want to thank Don for coming on. It's always great to hear another perspective about the Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge, his perspective, his highs, his lows, his words of inspiration. Indeed. But before we get ready to get off, I have to just give this one last shout out for Doc Remy nonprofit organization. She's getting ready for her gala. I want to make sure that I get this information in tonight because her gala will be on March the 12th, 2026. It starts on Thursday. That's the welcome party at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, the Holiday Inn Express, Opryland, 13th of March, 2026. It's going to start at 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We're going to be cocktail reception, 7 p.m. to charity gala, and 7:30 keynote speaker, no other than Ronald P. Hodge Jr., a.k.a. Gorilla Blue Rare Breed out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Make sure that you are there. And then on that Saturday, they're going to do a motorcycle charity ride, kickstands up at 11 a.m. Make sure that you are there. We're going to be in the house. We're going to be trying to do some impromptu interviews, just kind of get a feel for how everybody's enjoying the event. And I am doing a GoFundMe to try to raise at least $5,000 to help 5 kids tuition for a year. And we're going to do it, folks. We're going to achieve that goal. I need for you to go over. Here is the QR code to the GoFundMe. Donate $10, $20, $25. Every bit helps. Right now, I think we're over like $3,200. So we're in the final stretch. I have the next week. So help me out, folks. Help me out. Go and donate what you can right here to the St. Kofa Achievement Center GoFundMe drive. All right. And before we get ready to get up out of here, I'm going to bring up the giveaway tonight. I like giving away stuff. I got 23 people in there. I want to get 30 people in there. So if you're watching, go in the comments and type hashtag Hyde. Hashtag Hyde. I can't do it because if I type in the comment, it's going to enter me, and I do not want to win because it's not about me winning. It's about my audience winning. So please go in, type in Hyde. If you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Facebook, there you go. Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. So listen, I'm going to run this for about 30 seconds to let you type Hyde in the comments, hashtag Hyde, and you will be entered for the free giveaway. So just stay tuned. 30 seconds. All right, let me add this up here right quick, folks. We got to do the. All right, there it is. There it is. Who's going to be our winner tonight? You still got time. You said, while I'm talking, you still can type it in there, folks. All right. So let me get ready to go ahead and see who our winner is tonight for the free giveaway. Let me hit this button, and there we go. Who is it going to be? 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 Oh, I thought it was nasty. Oh, Marcus, how we doing? That's it. Marcus, you are our winner tonight. Congratulations for the free giveaway. You get a promo pack and a free t-shirt. Yeah, okay. Good deal, good deal, good deal. All right, folks. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight on the Rhino K Solo podcast show. You know where it's at on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific on that West Coast, where we're going to be highlighting our unsung riders from across the nation. And if you know somebody that would like to be highlighted, that you would like highlighted on the channel, all you got to do is hit me up on the inbox and we would definitely get them on. All right, folks, I want you to have a good night. And remember, aspire to inspire. And if you do that, you'll definitely be legendary. All right, folks, y'all have a good night.
What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Most Wanted, in the building. You already know the vibes. Inspired by K Solo the Rider. If you haven't tapped into the podcast yet, you're missing out. Go check it out, catch a vibe, and get inspired. If you're already tuned in, keep that energy flowing and that podcast on lock. This your girl, Most Wanted. I'm out.
Yo, it's your girl A Boogie. Big shout out to K Solo the Writer, holding it down with the writing with K Solo podcast. If you love the open roads, good vibes, and real writer talk that hits home, this is where it's at. Keep it locked in, keep it rolling, and remember, like K Solo always says, be legendary.